If Niccolò Machiavelli were around today, he wouldn't be writing treatises or stirring debate in the comments. He'd be operating behind closed doors, quiet, deliberate, and completely in control. He wouldn't waste time tweeting, posting, or shouting his name into the void. No, he'd be the one no one notices, until they realize he's been pulling the strings all along. So carefully, so flawlessly, it'd feel like fate. Because in an age obsessed with attention, he'd mastered the game by staying out of sight. And today, I want to walk you through how exactly he'd do it. Not with fluffy quotes or half-baked theories. With real doctrine. 21 psychological principles he'd live by, rules for total control, if he were here now, breathing in our noise and exhaling strategy. See, Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than the hand." In other words, if you control what they see, you control what they believe. And belief is power. Let's begin. Rule 1. Let them think you're smaller than you are. Most folks today are in a mad dash to prove themselves. Flashing degrees, flexing influence, trying to be the loudest in the room. Machiavelli wouldn't bother. He wouldn't come in shouting. He'd come in last. Quiet. Watching. Measuring. And when he finally speaks, it would be when everyone least expects it, saying exactly what no one else has the guts to. And just like that, without a spotlight or a crown, the room is his. He'd let people assume he's passive. Harmless. Forgettable even. Because here's the secret. When people don't think you're a threat, they stop guarding themselves. They relax. They reveal. And that's when you strike, precisely, silently, from a position they never even thought to defend. Rule 2. Charm is a better weapon than truth. In a world obsessed with image, it's not truth that spreads, it's perception. Machiavelli knew this. Everybody sees what you appear to be. Very few ever get close enough to see what's real. So no, he wouldn't waste time proving he's honest. He'd craft something more powerful, a persona. He'd shake hands in boardrooms while planting just enough misdirection to shift an outcome. He'd be friendly with rivals, feed them false confidence, even laugh at their jokes, while quietly disarming them with charm. That's the game. Not being good, but being seen as good. It's not about being authentic. It's about being persuasive. So don't fight the narrative people build about you. Use it. Let them think you're noble, while you rewrite the ending behind the curtain. Rule 3. Confusion is influence. Most people are desperate to be understood. Machiavelli? He'd aim for the opposite. He'd make people unsure. One day warm, the next distant. Sometimes full of insight, sometimes wrapped in silence. Not because he's unsure, but because they are. Confusion breeds curiosity. And when someone becomes curious, they start watching closely. They hang on every word, trying to decode your silence, your stare, your pauses. That obsession? That's leverage. When they can't define you, you become a riddle. And people don't forget riddles, they chase them. So instead of over-explaining, hold back. Let them lean in. Let them fill in the blanks with whatever they fear, or hope, you are. Speak in layers. Answer with half-truths. Smile instead of confirming. Because curiosity? It becomes gravity. Rule 4. Let them see the surface, not the depth. These days, everyone's showing their every move, branding, building, broadcasting. Machiavelli wouldn't play that game. He'd let people see the front stage. But never the backstage. He'd drop public updates, sure. But the real moves, the planning, the leverage, the strategy, would stay buried. He understood, if they can see your process, they can predict your outcome. And if they can predict it, they can block it. So he mastered the illusion of transparency while keeping the truth locked behind 1,000 quiet decisions. Let them think you're inactive. Let them think you're slow. And then, while they sleep, you pass them. They won't even see what hit them. Rule 5. Build a perfect mask. Then crack it slightly. Here's what every real manipulator already knows. Perfection isn't memorable. It's the imperfections that stick. So you build a mask. Calm. Confident. Sharp. But then? You let it slip, just a little. A sharp glance. A flash of vulnerability. A moment of sudden depth they didn't expect from you. And now? They're hooked. They thought they figured you out. But now they're not so sure. You gave them 90% of the story, and left the last 10% locked behind a look they can't explain. They'll chase that mystery for years. Because once they sense the mask, they need to know what's behind it. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But me? I don't serve it at all. I just disappear. No fireworks. No speeches. Just silence. And trust me, nothing unravels someone faster than realizing what they needed is suddenly gone. See, men behave when necessity holds their leash. Take that leash away, give them too much freedom, and the truth slips out. Machiavelli knew that. He'd become the thing they didn't know they depended on until it vanished. That's how you burn yourself into their memory, not by presence, but by absence. So I let them lean on me. Just enough to build the habit. Then, mid-step, I pull my hand away. Not with anger. Not with noise. Just gone. And what they're left with isn't hatred, it's dependence. A hole they can't fill. And they'll spend years trying. Rule 10. Turn favors into weapons. Most people help because they want to be liked. Me? I help to hold leverage. See, when I give, I don't ask for anything back, at least not right away. I let the imbalance settle in. Make them feel it. Make them live with it. They start to squirm under that unspoken debt. They feel it in every interaction. And the longer it lingers, the heavier it gets. I don't have to demand anything, they'll start handing it over on their own. Loyalty. Secrets. Submission. And if they ever start to forget who helped them up, I just drop a casual line. Remember that time I... That's all it takes. One reminder that I own a sliver of their pride. Because favors, when left unpaid, don't disappear. They calcify into chains. Rule 11. Create loyalty through quiet betrayal. People think loyalty is built on kindness. It's not. It's built on shared secrets and broken rules. I don't ask anyone to betray their values. I just leave the door cracked. They tell me something they shouldn't. They bend a rule for me. They talk behind someone's back to earn my trust. I never push. I just make it easy. And once they cross that line, they're mine. Not because they admire me, because they've compromised themselves for me. They've invested. And no one likes losing an investment. That's how you build unshakable allies. Not with charm. With entanglement. Rule 12. Break bonds from the inside out. Machiavelli didn't just win against people, he took down entire groups. But he didn't do it with force. He did it with rot. He'd slide into the middle of a group like a whisper. Never loud. Just enough to stir doubt. He'd plant questions, not accusations. Did you hear what he said about you? Funny how she never really defends you. No accusations. Just suggestions. You don't have to destroy trust. Just bruise it. The group will take care of the rest. Because once suspicion sets in, it spreads like mold. And before you know it, the alliance collapses under its own weight, without you lifting a finger. Rule 13. Use their insecurities like strings. Want to make someone follow you? Don't attack them. Mirror their doubts. You don't insult them. You just reflect. You've come a long way, for someone who never really fit in. You've got guts, especially since people don't always take you seriously. These aren't compliments. They're soft hooks. Fishing lines that dig into pain without resistance. And once they feel seen, especially in the places they usually hide, they start to follow. Because fear doesn't obey logic. It obeys familiarity. And the moment you become the voice that understands their wounds, you become the one they trust most. Rule 14. Keep your hands clean. If something needed to be done, something ugly, Machiavelli would never do it himself. He'd let someone else take the blame. Someone else swing the axe. He'd whisper suggestions. Nudge decisions. Fan the flames. But when the fire broke out, he'd already be gone. He didn't make enemies. He made messes that looked like someone else's doing. When someone had to be cut loose, he made it look like their own undoing. When chaos was needed, he lit both ends of the fuse and walked away. That's how you rise. Quietly. When the dust settles, everyone's pointing fingers, except at you. You're just the calm in the storm. The solution after the wreckage. Rule 15. Let silence do the talking. Power isn't loud. It's quiet. Watch any room. The one with the real authority? He's not the one shouting. He's the one watching. Machiavelli would walk into today's world of endless noise and win without saying a word. That's the play. Silence. Someone insults you? Say nothing. Someone pushes your buttons? No reaction. They'll talk more, fill the gap, spill more than they mean to, just to escape your quiet. You're not passive. You're pulling strings they can't see. Because in silence, people project. They wonder what you know, what you're thinking, what you're planning. And the truth is, you don't have to say anything at all. Just sit still and let them unravel themselves. You just smile and let them talk. When they try to stir up a reaction, you blink slowly, stay still, and keep your face blank. No emotion. No words. Just stillness. That silence? It pushes them to talk more, much more. And the longer they talk, the more they spill, what they're afraid of, what they really want, where they're weak. You don't have to press them. Just hold the space open long enough, and they'll hand you everything you need without knowing it. Forget force. Real power hides in silence. Silence doesn't shout, it exposes. It's the most elegant form of deception there is. Rule 16. Be unpredictable, just not all the time. Machiavelli wouldn't act wild or emotional. But he'd never let you know exactly how he'd move in a crucial moment. Because once people figure out your patterns, they learn to control you. If they always know when you'll respond, they set the rhythm. If they know how you react under pressure, they'll craft the pressure on purpose. If they know you'll always play fair, they'll use your decency against you. But if some days you forgive, and other days you vanish. If sometimes you confront, and sometimes you just watch in silence as they self-destruct. If one day you lean in, and the next, you walk away without warning. They'll start to fear you. Not because you're violent. But because they have no idea what you'll do next. Machiavelli understood, people are ruled by love, or by fear. And nothing feeds fear like not knowing what's coming. The ones they can't predict? Those are the ones they can never prepare for. Rule 17. Make them feel you, even when you're gone. You don't need to show up all the time to dominate. You just have to make sure that when you're not there, your shadow still is. How? By setting the standard. You become the comparison. The ghost in every room. They hesitate because they remember how you used to correct them. They hold back on celebrating, because they wonder if you would have done better. They question others, because your judgment still echoes in their heads. This isn't about content. It's about presence. You stamp yourself into the room by how you acted while you were still in it. Measured. Watchful. In control. Sharp. So when you're gone, they don't just miss you. They measure everyone else against you, and no one measures up. Machiavelli didn't need to fire people. He made himself unforgettable. Even in his absence, they still played by his rules. Rule 18. Don't make threats. Let fear do the heavy lifting. Threats make people brace for impact. But silent uncertainty? That breaks them down slowly. Machiavelli didn't need to say, "I'll crush you." He let people wonder if he might. And that wondering? That quiet anxiety? Way more destructive than any words. Here's how it works now. You don't say, "I could ruin you." You just pause when they lie, and watch them squirm. You don't say, "You're finished." You just make one call, then disappear. You don't warn them. You vanish, and let them panic about what you're planning. Because fear fed by imagination is 10 times more powerful than fear fed by facts. Once they start wondering what you might do, they'll start behaving like you already did it. Rule 19. Hold your revenge. Wait until it crushes. Machiavelli didn't believe in snapping back quickly. He believed in patience. In watching. Waiting. Letting the betrayals sit and fester, until striking would be devastating. Injuries should be done all at once, he said, so the sting fades faster. But favors? Favors should be slow, so they remember them. So when someone wronged him, he didn't lash out. He studied them. He let them breathe easy. He let them believe they got away with it. And then, quietly, perfectly, he made his move. No mess. No noise. Just precision. Because revenge isn't about payback. It's about control. If you react too fast, you play by their tempo. But if you wait, they live in suspense. They lose sleep. They celebrate nothing fully. Every silence becomes a warning. And that tension? That pressure they carry in their chest? It hurts way more than any public blow ever could. He gave them time to get comfortable. Let them think they were in the clear. And then, on a day they never saw coming, he acted. No warning. No hesitation. Just a clean, calculated strike. Because revenge, when done right, isn't about payback. It's about control. If you hit back right away, you're playing their game. You're reacting on their schedule. But if you wait, they rot from the inside. They can't enjoy their win. They can't sleep easy. They flinch at every silence, wonder if this is the moment it comes. And that fear? That slow-burning dread? It leaves scars no explosion ever could. Rule 20. Don't just be a man. Become a system. Machiavelli didn't care about popularity. He didn't need applause. He wanted to be irreplaceable. Not because people liked him, but because removing him meant pulling apart the foundation. That's the modern way. Don't just build a name. Build a structure that breathes with your logic. Become a method. A mindset. A way of operating that others copy without even realizing it. Teach them how to think the way you think. Make yourself the one person whose absence breaks the system. Plant your voice in decisions that echo long after you've stepped out. So even when they want to get rid of you, they can't. Because they don't know how to function without you. That's not just influence. That's embedded dominance. Psychological permanence. Rule 21. Make your name too heavy to speak. Real power isn't about being known. It's about being felt. Even when you're not in the room. If Machiavelli lived today, people wouldn't say his name. They'd whisper about that guy. They'd warn, don't end up like him. Or, we know how that story went last time. Not because they forgot him, but because naming him feels like conjuring something they can't control. You don't chase trends. You haunt timelines. You don't argue. You shift the mood. You walk into the background. And still change the outcome. You become the kind of presence they're afraid to acknowledge. Because everyone in the room already knows the cost. Machiavelli wouldn't be yelling online. He wouldn't be posting hot takes or fishing for likes. He'd be buried in boardrooms. Threaded through policies. Quietly moving pieces with a smile no one questioned. He'd be the voice in your mind whispering, don't react. Let them go first. Hold your ground. He wouldn't beg for respect. He'd make himself essential. He'd make respect feel like air. Something they need just to survive. And that's how you win. Not with noise. Not with visibility. But with a shadow they can't escape. With a legacy that moves silently. Long after you're gone.